So I'm back with part two. Part one was very swift. I did make that part on TikTok. And I'm currently in my bathroom because this is my peace place. I love the bathroom, y'all. My bathroom is really big and I just love being here with my candles and my echo. And I just being here vibing. Anyhow, so back to part two. Part one was very brief. I recorded that on TikTok and it was short and it wasn't detailed enough. And I think that a lot of it got very, it got crazy on TikTok because a lot of details was not mentioned. Mind you, I'm very new to TikTok. So I recorded really quick just to tell my quick story. But everybody wanted to get very detailed, which is fine because obviously that's the world we live in. We all want to know, okay? So we were just friends, co-workers. I used to hang around all the guys at work. They used to call me a guy. They're like, she a guy, she not no girl. But anyway, so we always hang out. It was me, him, two other guys. We would hang together all the time. I know how females are. I was not trying to deal with no females, so I was hanging with the guys all the time until we just started getting very close because first of all, we're both Gemini, so we are great communicators. All we do is communicate and talk. So after a while, me and him would just like corner off a lot and just talk about personal things. I would talk to him about my relationship. He would talk to me about his a lot. So it was intriguing to get a male point of view, especially a male that had his head on right. Not somebody was just, like a womanizer, he was a good guy, basically, a good listener, very, very good listener. So for 3 years, I'm gonna slow down because when I do tell a story, I tell it so fast and I'm a very fast talker. So I'm gonna make sure I keep it down for you guys because my ass be speeding through some stories. So anyway, basically, we started sharing short stories about our personal lives. He supported me a lot through my relationship and I supported him as well. Like I said, in the beginning, he would talk about his wife, highly of his wife. He loved his wife, but they had their own issues. Like in any relationship, they had their freaking issues. So as time went on, we started getting very close. And I believe that we grew an emotional bond first. And like someone said in the comments, they were like, emotional bonds are very tough. They are very, very tough. They are very tough because it's what it is. It's an emotion. Emotion is a hard thing to break. And I had no intention. Y'all, when I say no intention, I mean no intention. I mean, we didn't even like each other in that form at first. We wasn't even each other type. First of all, my husband like petite women. As you can see, I'm a heavy set girl, and that was never his type. So, and then I never dated short men. So I was like, he was cute, but he wasn't like my type of guy. So I never really looked at him like that. He was just funny as hell. Like he was so damn funny. And I used to be like, he's just so goddamn funny. So we just used to laugh and joke all the time. But again, I had no intention, y'all. And I don't want to keep making myself, I don't want to feel like I'm just have to constantly defend my behavior. But I know in all hearts of hearts, I don't have no intention to break nobody's family up. That was not my intention at all. And you can't break nothing. You can't break something that's already broken. But we'll get into that. So we started bonding a whole lot. Like he would come to work and just tell me things that he was going through. He didn't have, let me say this, he wasn't allowed to have a lot of friends. So, I'm not even gonna say he wasn't allowed to. I'm gonna say that she was that person, she would kind of dissect everybody he was around. So he was just like, he just played it safe and was just like, I'm just gonna be with my family. You know what I mean? So he was cool with some people. And then too, he just grew out of some relationships too, because he was getting older, he had children. So he was like, some people, just sometimes your, I want to say your atmosphere, when you have children and you get married and stuff like that, your atmosphere changes too. So it was a correlation of all of that. But anyway, So he wasn't really, he didn't confide in most people. All he did was go home to his wife and kids. So anyway, when he came to work, I was his ear, he was my ear. I mean, we talked a lot. We laughed a lot. And we discussed our plans, our future, our success. We discussed things that friends discuss. What we wanted to do, our next steps, how we felt about our careers, things of that nature. So he had a lot of things that he wanted to do, but she didn't really want to support it. She was just like, you know, we need to focus on the family. And I mean, so I got to, you know, I don't want to get into the logistics about their mom because I just feel like I owe that much respect to my children. So I'm not going to do all of that, but I'm going to say that she wasn't very supportive. So, you know, me being a friend, and most people are not going to believe it. They think I have a motive, but me being a friend, I just really want to support him because he was so freaking smart. I was like, damn, you're so smart. Like, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. He was like, I know, but I can't do it. He was like, I have my family, I have 2 jobs. I just can't focus on that. I'm like, you can focus. We can do this together. Like, when you at work on your lunch break, we can study together. We can do this. You're so smart. You have to do something different. So again, when I met him, he had 2 jobs. He was just a stand-up guy. But again, I was just like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, he's just a good guy. You don't meet guys like that. What do I know? This story is so long, guys. Like, when I say I'm going to probably have like 7 parts, I'm going to have like probably 7 parts. And I don't, oh my God, it's so long. But you guys will follow me. Just listen. It's an interesting story. Goodness gracious. So what is the next part? So let me just fast forward. As we got closer, he visited my house one time. He was like, okay, I'm gonna come over. I'm gonna see you. We're gonna spend time. That was one time he came. And the time that he came, he was very uncomfortable, unsettling. And he wasn't like comfortable like he normally be. Like, man, I don't know. I just got a lot of thinking to do. So I was like, I understand, you know, it made me feel kind of weird because I was like, dang, I started feeling really bad. Like, dang, I don't want to make you feel like it was a pressure on to be here. But he was like, no, it's not you, man. I just, this type of man I am. When I'm done with a relationship, I'm done with it. I don't do this kind of stuff. And I was like, respect. So he was like, so we relaxed the rest of the day. Well, not the whole entire day, but a couple of hours after that. And then he went home. So when we got back to work, we talked a little bit about it, but we didn't talk much. It was just up in the air because he was just really uncomfortable. It was just, you know, mentally, your emotions are going crazy when you start falling in love with somebody else. So with him, he had a lot going on. I did too. I had children as well. Of course, I had children too. So it was just a lot of emotion, just all over the place. So anyway, we at work, we had planned a party bus. Me, him, and a couple of coworkers. We planned a party bus, and that was going to be our way to like actually spend some real time together. So, unfortunately, the week before the party bus, the week we were supposed to actually get on the party bus, the person that initially planned it passed away. He was our coworker. His name was Fred. He passed away a week before, and I was very sad for us. And he called me. He was like, man, you ain't gonna believe this. Fred passed away, and I just could not believe it. It was very hard because he was very young, and he passed asleep in his sleep. So that was very hard for me. Everybody. So I just started feeling like, dang, you know, he may not. Well, you know, I'm not gonna. It was just a lot going on, but so we decided another plan, and another plan was he was just gonna come out. He said, I'm just gonna come out, and I just tell her I'm going out for the night. That was difficult, but he got out. His best friend went to go get him. So before he got out, I was like, listen, if this is gonna be a hard road for you, let's just call it quits. You do have children, you do have a wife, so it's really hard, and it's going to be hard for you, and it's just going to be too much of a stress for us to do this. Let's just call it quits. I say, if you can't get out tonight and we're not going to be together, we need to definitely call it quits because we have 11 people on the line, the children and your wife. So he was like, I got you. He's like, I got you. I'm going to come out tonight. So, I mean, now that I think about it, I'm like, literally one night out with someone doesn't capitalize on having a whole relationship. I guess I was very young. I was like 22. So, you know, I didn't make rational decisions at all, you know. I mean, I did make a lot of rational ones, but irrationally I did make decisions that didn't make a lot of damn sense. But hey, where was I? Okay, so he came out that night, and we just went to a bar. He doesn't drink, so I was drinking, but he did take a shot. He was like, I'll take a shot. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, just so I guess his nerves were bad or some shit, I don't know, but he was like, he'll take a shot. So we took a shot. We talked it out. We talked all night like we always do. We just talk. We talk about families, our children, our relationships. We just talking and vibing. So he went to my house that night. It was the first night that he spent the night at my house. And he got up again. The whole night was, I mean, it was okay. It was nice, but I could tell he was still out of place. So firmly, I made a decision in my head, like, this has to be the last night. This has to be the last night because it's too much. It's just, I'm young, he's young, he has a lot of children, I have a lot of children. Like, it don't ever work, basically. And then we had people around us that were just not rooting for us. Nobody. And I get it. Marriage is a really vital thing. And I'm not saying that it isn't. But when someone's unhappy, they're unhappy. I mean, obviously, there wouldn't be a word called divorce if people didn't separate and get divorced. A lot of people say, oh, how you get them is how they leave or whatever they said. You know, what's for me is for me, so I can't worry about that. But that night, he stayed. He left in the morning. It's gonna be a lot of parts I going back and forth with y'all because y'all have to bear with me. I have been with him for 13 years, and it is a lot of stories. We have a lot of experiences and a lot of memories. So I'm not going to go through the whole 13 years of the marriage, but I will skim through the first 2 or 3 years when we like merged the children and all the way until we got into the poly relationship, of course. But he, mind you, during the time that he was having a difficult marriage, he did try all he could to save his marriage. And I couldn't say that for him. And I will say that he went through marriage counseling. I think she came for one session and never showed up again. He was going to church every week, every Sunday. And even if she didn't show, he still go. And I was definitely, I know y'all don't believe me, but I was really rooting for him. And I don't have a reason to defend anything. I've been married to him for 10 years. I'm not trying to make a point or anything like that, but it is fair to say that I absolutely did root for him in his marriage and his children. And I just kept telling him, I was like, I was even in the freaking, on Google looking for marriage counselors. Like, I didn't know anything about it, but I was trying to help him as much as I could. I was like, well, maybe I need to do this. And I was like, my aunt said, you know, you can go through a church. And, I didn't know, 22, I don't know anything about this. I never been married. So I'm still trying to help him through that. And he just kept being he was just so, he wasn't motivated. He was just like, she doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't want to try. So I can say this, he's a very motivated man. And if she would have tried, he would have probably still been with her because he doesn't give up easy at all. He does not give up easy. And I can say that being married for 10 years, this man does not give up on anything easy. It has to be something very strenuous to get him out of a position, or somebody has to really do him wrong for him to give up on them. He does not give up. Anyway, moving forward, he that morning he left my house. He said his mom picked him up. He said, well, I'm going to church today. I'll see you later. And I said, okay. So normal day, I was like, he's going home to his wife. Of course, I'm going to sit here and be miserable as hell because I'm going to miss him and knowing that I'm not going to be with him. But, you know, story of my fucking life, right? Hungover, waiting him to come back, and I know he ain't coming back. But, he left. He went to church. Well, he didn't leave. Before he left, he said, if I don't see you today, have a good day. Hope you get some rest. He said, I am going to go to church and I'm going to pray. So in my head, I'm like, oh my God, what? He said, I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray and I'm going to ask God to send me where I belong and where I'm needed. So, mind you, I'm 22. I'm just going to keep saying that because I was very young-minded. And I was like, boy, bye. Like, I'm not trying to hear all this. I'm trying to get some fucking sleep. I've been up all night. I'm trying to get some sleep, get some good eat, and I'm going to bed. And I'm gonna put these kids in the sub. I'm gonna make some Sunday dinner for these babies, and we're gonna all lay up in this room. We're gonna lay down and relax. So that was my mindset for that Sunday. But he said, if I don't see you again, if I don't see you, take care. I hope you have a good day. I'll see you at work. I said, cool. And about 2 hours later, someone comes knocking at the door, and the kids are like, Mommy, the door. And I'm like, who is it? It was like, it's Black. And they were screaming hard. They left him so much. Now, he didn't meet the kids as much. He met them a couple times at work when I brought them down, and then he met them the time that he stayed that first time, and the kids just fell in love with him. And kids know good people. Kids, their hearts don't lie. So when he came back, he was like, I prayed and I sat at the back and I said to myself, and I prayed for my wife, I prayed for my kids, I prayed for you, and I prayed for your kids, and I asked God to send me where I belong, and he sent me back. And I said, okay, okay, go to sleep. I'm tired. So at that time, I just didn't know how deep that was. I carry that story with me a lot because it's real. It's real. I mean, at my age now, I know that it was very real. And I was like, man, go to sleep. You will be back home. And yeah. But that man never returned home, y'all. I ain't had to go through that. I never had to go through that. He never returned. And join me for part 3. Join me for part 3. Subscribe to my YouTube. This story will probably be about 8 parts, all the way until I get into my poly life. Subscribe to my channel, my TikTok. Please, I'm asking if you guys can subscribe, like, and comment. This is a very long and emotional story. It is. I'm okay with the comments, but please keep it clean. I have my children watching. But guys, it is a long story. Yeah. So I'll be posting my part 3 next week. Stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching.